is Shaleos from the KSL Greenhouse, and we have just finished a video on our wonderful fairy succulent planter. Now we want to create a succulent garden around the planter. And I have kind of two reasons for doing this. Number one, I've just cut down this huge pine tree and I have this empty space. And I just really fallen in love with succulents, and there are just so many different varieties. And I wanted some way to highlight succulents so people could see the different beautiful varieties of succulents. I also wanted to highlight all of the rocks that I have gathered with our kids, we've gathered with our kids over the years, and I wanted a place to use them that they would look cool and people could see the fun rocks that we've collected from the desert over the years and incorporate the succulents. So I've started with a big variety of different types of succulents, and these are all hardy sempervivums or hardy sedums, and they do very well in the Utah climate, so they can withstand the very cold temperatures that we have here in the state of Utah. The first thing you need to think about, though, is your soil. I've already prepared the soil. So there were a lot of roots in here, so I had to dig out the roots and make sure that my soil was good for the new plants. The second thing you really have to think about is water. How are you going to water them? The succulents aren't going to need as much water as much of your other landscaping, your other flower beds, so they really need to be on a separate system. So you need to think about that in advance. Now, I do have a drip system that is in here already, and then I'm going to work some of my drip system throughout my succulents as well. And then the next thing you need to think about is not putting all the colors in the same place, the same types of colors or the same types of plants in the same place. I really want the plants to stand out. So I'm going to try to arrange them in a way that will show them off and just show how beautiful they are. I'm going to start with a larger plant at the top. So probably something like this at the top, just because it's a little bit larger. So the best way to do this is to kind of lay out the plants and see what they look like first. And then you won't be moving them around so much. So I'm going to set out each of these plants where I think that they will look best. So again, I'm thinking about size and color and how they're going to grow so they'll look well together. Each of these are just so unique. And then I'm going to put some of the sedums kind of trailing along the edges as well. But I'll probably do those very last. So right now I want to just get all the hens and chicks in place. Kind of like how this is a mass. And I think that's going to look nice at the base. So I moved that because I felt like it kind of disappeared when I moved it over here. So kind of see the difference in the variations of colors. And then I don't want to put them too close together because remember, these are going to spread. Not very quickly because succulents grow very slowly, but they will spread. So you kind of have to keep that in mind as well. Such interesting varieties. I'm going to want to put that somewhere where it's going to be seen. And not too close to the other one that looks like a spider's web. Here, maybe. There. These are too close. So you can kind of see why I'm placing them first. Love the trailing hens and chicks. Actually, for the same reason I put the other one there, put that one there. So what I've tried to do is place them so they are far enough apart, not too far apart, not evenly spaced. We don't have colors that are the exact same because I want those plants to really pop. I want you to see the different kinds of plants. I also don't want to put too many in because then I think you'll just not see each different kind of plant. So I'm going to start with the big plants first, and then around the edges, after I get these planted, I can work in some of my extra rocks, and I can work in some of the sedums along the edges. So the next thing I'm going to think about is digging my holes so that the plant sits flat on top of the soil. All of the succulents don't like being too high, and they don't like having any indentation where the water can gather. So that's the first thing I'm thinking about here. And keeping it level and just making sure it's at the soil line. And then you continue that way with all of your plants. Once you've placed all of the hens and chicks, then you're going to want to pick your sedums that are going to go around the edges and just add variety. So pick, again, looking at the colors and making sure that the colors contrast and look well with each other. So, and again, what I'm going to do is place them where I want them before I actually put them in the soil. Let's see, variation of color. So many beautiful different varieties. So now that I've placed these where I think I want them, I'm going to go ahead and dig the holes and fill them in as well. And again, keeping them level with the surface, the plant level with the surface. Now that I've placed all of the sedums that I think really fit into the garden, I think it looks really nice. And now I'm just going to go in and place all of the extra rocks that I have that I want people to be able to see, that I want to be able to see with those great memories. And then again, the watering. Just make sure that your succulents are dry before you water them. And make sure you check out our fairy garden video as well. And join us for the KSL Greenhouse Saturday mornings from 8 to 11.